One of the biggest spenders in free agency this year has been the New England Patriots, but one position they really haven't addressed is their wide receiver core. So in today's Madden 25 rebuild, I'm drafting the Patriots' Tetairoa McMillan, and our job is to bring back glory to New England. All right, I just spent the last several minutes really remaking this Patriots roster with all the moves they did in free agency. We already have Joshua Dobbs on the roster. We have even Austin Hooper, their tight end number 2, Morgan Moses. And the offense is okay. I don't really know what the Patriots are going to do with the offensive line as well. In their official depth chart, they have Micah Winu as their right guard. So we desperately need a left tackle to pair with Morgan Moses. And I don't know why Drake May is normal dev. I think it might have to do with how bad we were in his rookie season, because I fail to believe that Madden had him as just a normal dev player entering this past year. So that's kind of annoying, and I'm going to keep an eye on it this season, because if Drake May does not progress, I'm going to be manually switching that because he just does not deserve to be normal dev. But on the defensive side of the ball, it actually looks really, really good now. Really, every single starter is a star somehow. I've got Robert Spillane and at middle linebacker 2. Milton Williams, really the biggest addition for the Patriots this offseason at our defensive tackle spot. Carlton Davis pairing with Christian Gonzalez, one of the best cornerback duos in the league now. And of course, Harold Landry at left outside linebacker. I want to see some improvement from some of these young guys. We want more players into like the mid 80s, but I really like how this defense looks, an 84 overall in our first year of this rebuild. And now it's really time to focus on the offense in the NFL draft, which I think the Patriots are going to try and do in real life as well. I actually forgot to take a look at the mock draft to make sure that McMillan will be here, but I'm pretty sure like every draft I've done, McMillan has not gone in the top 4. So there goes Cam Ward. The Browns are going to take Shedeur Sanders and one more pick. Hopefully the Giants don't do it and they take Abdul Carter. It worked out pretty perfectly for us. And now we have kind of the right here to take McMillan. I know Patriots fans probably in real life would want to go Travis Hunter here. And Hunter, yeah, he's like a unicorn player, but just pure wide receiver, I think McMillan is the pick. And we're just going to select him here because this rebuild is centered around him and Drake May. And hopefully he is pretty good on this sim. I've never used him, and he was number 5 in true value. So actually going to be a really, really good player for us. 91 speed, 89 acceleration, 96 jumping, 6'5", 212 pounds. He's going to be one of the best receivers in the league in a couple of years. Now here at pick number 36, we need to take our left tackle of the future. I don't know who's going to be on the board. I did scout like majority of these left tackles, and it doesn't look like many great options. So we've got Connerly here and Eonte Ursery, but they're not great talents for this draft, surprisingly. I have taken Connerly a couple of times with this draft file, and he does turn out to be just a pretty solid option, like in the mid 80s. But I mean, there still are players on the board like Ashton Genty, Malachi Starks. I mean, that's obviously not super realistic for what it's going to be in real life. Maybe somebody like Amarian Hampton falls. Maybe somebody like Tyler Booker, he's just a pure offensive guard, could fall to the early second day. So because I want to make this somewhat realistic, I am going to pass on Genty and Starks. But I think I could justify Booker or Hampton here. And Hampton would be just such a fun pick for the Patriots. I think I'm going to do it. I do think there's a chance that Hampton does go the bottom half of the first round. But hey, if he's here, he can maybe be like the mini Derrick Henry for Mike Vrabel and the new look Patriots. I'm going to draft him. Don't know how good he's going to be on the sim as well. And he's number 30 in true value. Hidden dev, 91 speed, 93 acceleration for a 6 foot, 220 pound running back. That's elite. Now here in the third round, I do think we can take somebody with some versatility, and that is Donovan Jackson from Ohio State. Has experience at tackle, and he also played guard for the Buckeyes. So I think he could probably slot into either one of those positions for us. We'll see what he's kind of best at, but number 69, nice in true value. And he is hidden dev again, 90 strength, 82 acceleration, so he can move a little bit. 6'4", 320. I like the pick as well. And we're going to get Drake May, yet another weapon. How about Xavier Restrepo from Miami? Kind of just our slot wide receiver, Cooper Kupp-esque. You know what they say about him? He plays the game the right way. He's sneaky fast. I think he could be another nice addition for us. Really good physicals as well with elite acceleration. Restrepo, welcome to New England, and he's 84 in true value. So another really good pick for us. We've like completely revamped our offense just like that. We only had one pick left, so I'll let the CPU do that. But I mean, the draft recap looks really, really good. McMillan is an 80 overall, 75 for Hampton, 73 for Donovan Jackson, and 72 for Restrepo. That is 4 instant starters on our offense. And now here's what the offense is looking like. I like Ramondre Stevenson, but I do think he's kind of capped out where his ceiling is. I think Hampton could be one of the best running backs in the league. And now with McMillan and Restrepo, 2 beautiful targets for Drake May to throw the football to. We did just move Morgan Moses to left tackle to protect the blind side of Drake May, but right tackle is still a major issue. We're going to have to shore that up definitely in the next offseason. But the interior of the offensive line looks really, really strong. And then, of course, defense, it's just littered with a ton of veteran players. And now we're ready to hop into the first year of this rebuild. Going to try and experiment with some playbooks. I'm going to use Sean McVay in year number 1 because it does fit the West Coast zone run scheme. And then Mac McDonald, his defensive scheme with the base 3-4 works as well. So we're going to try these out and see if we can be at least just functionable in our first season. Through the mid-season point, we're 0-7, and our offense is averaging 13 points a game. I don't really know why that's happening, but our defense is at least middle of the pack. It looks like Drake May is not having a great season. He also has 22 sacks, so I think we're going to change his development to star because it's not going well. So going to go ahead and change this. I probably should have just done it to start with. I don't know why he was all the way down to normal after just rookie season. Doesn't really make sense to me, so we're going to bring him back to star. I guess the playbook was not working either, so we're going to try the Cowboys. They always seem to have a pretty good offense in the sim, so we'll try that now and see if that makes any difference the last half of the season. We don't have that many players to bring back, just some of our key defenders that are in the prime of their career, and Marcus Jones, he is our slot cornerback. I do want to bring him back on a 2-year contract. Jawan Bentley, another player that is pretty good in the prime of his career. I'm going to re-sign him as well. Cole Strange, a very solid center. If I can get him for this cheap, I will definitely take that, and he will come back. And then Taki and Vidarian Lowe, all these other guys, I'm going to let leave. Obviously going to accept that 5th-year option once the offseason hits for Christian Gonzalez. Well, the season is over. We finished 4-13 once again. Not a good season whatsoever. The worst offense in the league. Our defense was actually top 10 in points allowed per game. But I don't really understand why our offense was so bad. I guess maybe one of our tackle positions was really, really rough. But definitely a pretty disappointing year with all the additions we made in our first season. If we take a look at the stats, Drake May did have a disappointing year. 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns to 17 interceptions. Hampton, though, was just under 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns. Receiving, Restrepo was great as a rookie. McMillan did not really get a ton of targets. May have to put him in the slot. On defense, Spillane was really good. Led us in tackles with 121. Harold Landry had 6 sacks. Milton Williams had 4.5. So 2 of our additions really did showcase their skill set in our first year. Kyle Duggar had 4 picks, and Carlton Davis also had interception as well. And it looks like our tackle duo really, really struggled with Caden Wallace and Morgan Moses, each allowing 18 and 16 sacks. That's really bad. Quick look at the season recap. We had the Chiefs defeating the Cowboys 28-13 in the Super Bowl. Trey Harris of the Eagles won Offensive Rookie of the Year if they needed even more targets. And Josiah Stewart also won Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Eagles. Howie Roseman just keeps cooking. We already saw that there was no players we had to bring back this year, but Christian Gonzalez obviously going to accept his 5th-year option. And the rest of these players, they can hit free agency. And now it's time to maybe find a tackle, a premier tackle. And yeah, this free agent class is not really good. I guess Rasheed Walker here is interesting, an 81 overall left tackle who does have interest in playing for us. So I will definitely give him a 4-year player-friendly deal. And I'm glad I took a look at the roster real quick because Morgan Moses also did retire. So now we need another tackle. I guess Ryan Ramczyk, we can give him a 2-year deal, and hopefully that will lock down our tackle spots for the next couple of years. We will try and look in the draft and find one of our future tackles, though, obviously. We did, in fact, get both of our tackles, which is great news for Drake May heading into year number 3, but now it's time to move on to the draft. We need to find a couple of more impact players. And I guess the rest of the NFL was terrible this year because we went 4-13 and have the number 4 overall pick. And looking at all of these pass rushers, there's not really anybody that stands out. No top 5 talent, which is kind of disappointing. I almost might want to trade the pick, but I still think one of these guys is probably too talented to actually pass on here. And the best defensive lineman between DeMar McDaniels and Pat Fitzsimmons, I do think it is going to be the McDaniels here from TCU. 6'2", 250 pounds, and his physicals are really good. Elite jumping, good speed, great acceleration, great agility, and his skills with a pursuit, a finesse moves. I think this guy's gonna be really, really good. And he is number 8 in true value. Hopefully that's better than the guy we just drafted. And this guy's normal def Normal dev for the number 8 player in the draft. That is not good. I think George Callaway from Stanford is the best player on the board, and we are seeing some regression from Cal Duggar, so I think Callaway could be a guy that steps in and takes over for him down the road. And he was number 20 in true value, so actually a really good pick. Hidden dev with 91 speed, 92 acceleration, over 6 feet tall, 213 pounds. I like the pick. Again, kind of following the BPA, this tight end here, J.P. Pritchett, he looks insane. 6'6", over 270 pounds. And he ran a 4.68 with elite strength. I mean, come on. How is this guy not going to be like a generational tight end? And yeah, number 24 in true value. Hidden dead with 84 speed, 86 acceleration. Yet another weapon for Drake May. Just going to take another flyer on another running back in Kevin Sitton. 6 foot, 226. He's a pass coverage archetype with great speed, elite acceleration. Kind of everything that you want in a coverage linebacker. And okay, he was not a great pick. 278 in true value, but he is hidden dev with 85 speed and 90 acceleration. I mean, that is pretty good physicals. And the draft recap is pretty good. Our top 3 players are all going to be pretty good players, I think, down the road. I let the CPU take over after our Sitton pick, and they didn't really hit on any gems, but that's all right. I do want to take a look and make sure that we made the right selection over Fitzsimmons, and he was a 76 overall as well. So around the same player, I don't know if he is hidden dev or not, and he is hidden dev, so kind of a controversial pick. And the team heading into year number 2 continues to improve. The offensive line is much better than it was last year. We have Pritchett now starting over Hunter Henry right away, which may not be the right decision, but I love to give my young players reps early on. McMillan and Restrepo still doing their thing. I expect a big year for McMillan this year. Defensively, I did put McDaniels over Tavai, who is regressing a bit, and Harold Landry. He also lost his dev trait and is also getting worse. I did move Callaway to strong safety to put him over Cal Duggar. We'll see how he performs year number 1. And then McDaniels, obviously our top 5 pick. Gonna have him starting at right outside linebacker and kind of be like a pass rush specialist. And overall, we're an 83 offense, 84 defense, and hopefully we could be much better this year. And through the midseason point, a way better start to the season, 5-2. And our offense this year is the one kind of carrying. It looks like kind of the scheme change, and the offensive line up front has really done well for us. Don't love the defense allowing 24 points per game, but as long as Drake May and this offense is kind of breaking out, I'm okay with it. We've got a decent amount of players to bring back in $49 million in cap room. Demario Douglas, we don't really have a need for him now with Restrepo. I'm probably going to let him walk. Keon White, he has been a pass rush specialist for us. I'll offer him this 2-year deal, and he will resign. Micah Winu, probably still the best offensive lineman we have on this team. I'll offer him a player-friendly deal, and doesn't want to accept it right now. Mapu really hasn't ever had a role in our team. Antonio Gibson hasn't really either. I don't think we want to pay Hunter Henry now after we just drafted a tight end. And I think the rest of these guys, I'm fine letting walk at this moment. And tons of improvement in year number 2. We end the season 11-6. Our offense was not as good the second half of this season, but our defense really turned up. Our first round matchup is going to be against the New York Jets, who have Travis Hunter and Sauce Gardner as their cornerback duo. Their offense is actually pretty good this year as well. I wonder who their quarterback is. But let's take a look at the stats, because I want to see how Drake May was this year, and his best season by far. 4,100 yards, 30 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. Amarian Hampton still just under 1,000 yards, but at 15 touchdowns. Receiving wise, McMillan, 1,200 yards and 11 touchdowns. Restrepo over 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns. Even our rookie tight end had a great season. You love to see it. Our offensive line, much better this year. Our left tackle still struggled a little bit, but it was decent. Defensively this year, Barmore with 8.5 sacks. Our rookie had 4, which was second on our team, which is not ideal. Picks wise, 6 for Robert Spillane, 5 for Carlton Davis, 4 for Christian Gonzalez. We did force a good amount of turnovers at least. And here we are, New England, as I believe the number 4 seed. So we are going to be hosting this playoff game. And there's Drake May leading out the troops, and hopefully we can start this game off fast. And so far looks kind of like a slugfest. We are in the red zone now, 7-0 early against this Jets team. I think we did split the single season series with 14-0 now, and the Jets are really struggling. I want to hop in and showcase some gameplay of this new look Patriots offense with McMillan, Hampton, Restrepo, and there's McMillan across the middle of the field picking up a nice first down. It is a little bit funny having Restrepo as like an outside receiver. I don't think that projects well, in the NFL in real life, but across the middle of the field here again to Hampton for another huge gain. We're cooking. Maybe can find our tight end here on this little post corner out, but there's McMillan wide open. Touchdown for McMillan, his first ever in the playoffs. and we're up 21-0. And bearing a miracle, which actually the Jets, 10 quick points to start this third quarter, but May is going to calm us down and have us at least put some points on the board, 28-10. The Jets are struggling, 35-17 now and 42-17. That's really just about do it here at home, and we're going to move on to the divisional round with a pretty dominant win over our division rival. And our second round matchup is going to be against the Baltimore Ravens. So we have kind of the three AFC powers year in and year out with the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens. And then, hey, now here is the New England Patriots kind of in that mix. I don't think we have a great chance here. They had the better overall and went 13-4 in the regular season, but hey, you never know. And midway through the first quarter, no points really being scored. And as I say that Baltimore does score first, it is now going to be 7-7. Drake May is battling against Lamar Jackson, the multiple-time MVP. He cannot answer before half. That sucks. 17-7. The Ravens are kind of controlling it. I want to see if I can just lob one up to McMillan down the field. He does have that one-on-one coverage, and May just couldn't get it out to him. So we are going to have to punt the football, and we're trying to stop this Ravens offense and putting points on the board, but I just think it's going to happen today. We still need a little bit more talent to compete on the road against a 13-win team. And the Ravens with that touchdown are going to put it out of reach, and we are going to lose 31-14 in our second playoff game of this rebuild against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. We had an Eagles and Chiefs rematch in the Super Bowl, and this time the Chiefs won again 31-28. $46 million of cap room heading into this offseason, going to accept the fifth-year option on Drake May. And really outside of him, we kind of already went over it. Probably going to let all these guys walk. And there are some absolute dogs on the free agent market. I'm going to try and get our hands on a couple of them. I really would want Aiden Hutchinson, but he has no interest in playing for us. Feels unrealistic. Same with Fred Warner and Kyle Hamilton. But hey, Tyler Lindenbaum, he's got some interest in playing for us. A player-friendly deal probably gets it done. I think maybe even going after George Karlaftis and trying to maximize the Super Bowl window we have with Drake May not making a ton of money makes sense. And we did get Linderbaum, we did get Karlaftis, and that's kind of all we have money for this offseason, which is a little bit concerning because I don't feel like we're paying a ton of big money players, but two more impact players brought to this team, and now we have yet another NFL draft to add some more talent. Now, Jabril Peppers is on the last year of his deal. He's making a ton of money. I'm going to try and get Nakobe Dean here, who is just younger. We could use another inside linebacker, and we get a 7th round pick. Just going to make it happen. Somebody else that fits that prototype is Kyle Duggar, who has an $18 million cap hit and nobody even wants him. But I just manually traded Duggar for a 7th round pick, kind of just a salary dump. So now we're going to get $18 million back. We're also going to ship away Ramondre Stevenson, who's making $9 million to be our backup running back, with a 3rd round pick for Danny Stutzman. I think he's a linebacker out of Oklahoma. In this year's draft, he's kind of a backup on the Browns currently, but he's young, 76 overall, cheap, and he is star dev. We're really rebuilding our linebacking core, which does need the help. And the last player I want to trade away is Cole Strange. Now that we have Linderbaum, no need to have a $6 million backup center. We do need a backup running back, so Jalen Wright, I'll accept him in a couple late round picks. And in the first round of the draft, I really don't have time to double think about this. We need a safety in Kevin Sims here from West Virginia. Grades out pretty good, and he's number 21 in true value, 91 speed, 87 acceleration, hidden dev. You love to see it. And here in the second round, getting another linebacker, Ty Hunt out of Washington. Really great physicals. His skills are pretty decent as well with A awareness, and he is 6'2", 246 pounds. He's number 45 in true value. He is only normal dev though, but 87 speed and 90 acceleration is ridiculous. My first two picks were pretty good. Kevin Sims and Ty Hunt are going to be starters for us, but then I let the CPU take over, and with our day 3 picks, they did just about nothing. But the team in year number 3 continues to just look really, really good and get better and better. The offensive line, the best it's ever been. McMillan is up to an 86 overall. May is continuing to improve as well, up to an 85. I want to see Hampton this year probably get to like the mid or upper 80s. I'm hoping that can happen. On the defensive side of the ball, the defensive line will get a boost with George Karlaftis. The secondary is still good, but now 2 very young players at our safety spots. The linebacking core, though, is getting a little bit dicey. I really want our former first round pick, like a top 5 pick, to break out this year. I don't know how realistic that is. We're getting pretty old in our linebacking core. That's got to be what we fill up next. And through the midseason point, again, we're kind of cooking 6-1. Our offense and defense are both top 5 in the league. We do have ourselves a few players to negotiate with. We have $68 million in cap room, and Christian Gonzalez, he wants a bag. We're going to have to give it to him. We do need to decide, I think, between Marcus Jones or Carlton Davis. It's a tough decision because Jones is 2 years younger, but he's 4 overalls worse than Carlton Davis. I might just extend Carlton on a 1-year deal and then maybe move him to like the slot and we go after another boundary corner. But I think outside of that, we're fine again letting all these players walk. I guess Ryan Ramczyk, if it's a 1-year deal, we can bring him back on a year-to-year basis. And the New England Patriots end the season 13-4, and we had the number 4 ranked offense and the number 1 ranked defense in the league. That is just ridiculous. Very eager to check these stats and see what we did this year. And Drake May threw for the most yards of his career with 4,400, but was just pretty efficient. 29 touchdowns to 8 picks and a 74 completion percentage. We ran the ball a lot more this year. Hampton with 1,500 yards and 19 touchdowns. I didn't even change the scheme. Receiving wise, McMillan, another 1,200 yard season and 6 touchdowns. Restrepo was still really good, and Polk even had 9 touchdowns. Defensively, our 2nd-year player, DeMar McDaniels, had 9.5 sacks this year, actually the breakout that we needed. Barmore and Williams on the interior of our defensive line had good seasons. Bentley with 2 picks. Sims, our rookie, with 2 picks. Honestly, just a really good season all around from our defense. The Chiefs did not make the playoffs. Is this like the first time ever in any of my Madden rebuilds the Chiefs have not made the postseason? Obviously, the Bengals, Ravens, and Bills are theoretically going to be really tough, but this is like a prime year to make it to the Super Bowl with no Kansas City around. And our round 2 matchup is going to be against the Buffalo Bills. The Ravens did lose, though, to the Jacksonville Jaguars, so maybe they can have another upset win against the Bengals. But I don't love facing off against divisional opponents in the playoffs because that's the 3rd time you're playing them in 1 season. But here we go. We got the home field advantage, the overall advantage, and the Bills are going to score first 3-0. We're going to answer it, though. But our defense is doing a pretty good job against a Hall of Fame quarterback in Josh Allen. And as I say that, the Bills are moving it down the field and are going to kick yet another field goal. And now they're going to take a 13-3 lead. Drake May and the offense need to wake up. We finally get on the board with a touchdown, 13-10. And it's still kind of a slugfest here in the second half. But we're going to hop in here on a key 3rd and 9 with Nakobe Dean as our linebacker, trying to stop Josh Allen. He's going to fire to the end zone here, and Christian Gonzalez is going to pick it off, one of the best cornerbacks in the league. And Gonzo is going to bring it back to the 15-yard line. The man who we just gave a huge contract comes up huge. But Drake May and this offense have not been able to capitalize on 4 turnovers of Josh Allen in the Bills offense. I'm going to step in here and try and bring us down the field. Drake May, plenty of green grass, going to fire it down the field here to Pritchett, first down. And Drake May's stats just popped up. He has 97 yards. Can somebody explain in a 15-minute Madden sim how my quarterback is just now passing for 100 yards? The sim just never makes any sense to me, but we have a 2nd and 2 here and still a chance to win the ball game, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to try and move Restrepo up the field here, and I probably should have just ran. I'm getting a little too cute with it here, but we scored a touchdown on this play previously. I'm just going to pick up the first down here to our tight end. But now a key 3rd and 10. It's just about picking up this first down underneath again to our tight end, and he dropped it. Madden is saying go for it, so we're going to have to do it here, and we don't even have our stud receivers in the game. So Drake May, why don't we just try and run for this? And he got caught up by his running back, but still fought for the first down. Drake May just making some winning plays, and we still don't have McMillan in the game here. But I think we can find, maybe just throw it away, man. Throw it away. So another 3rd and 10 play. I like McMillan. He's wide open here. Finally get some separation, and McMillan is off to the races, and he's inside the 15. Maybe could have called the timeout, but I don't want to give Josh Allen a ton of time to go down the field. And again, slant route. It's going to be caught by Restrepo. He dropped it. How does Restrepo drop that football? But now we have some play action here. I really want to find McMillan for another touchdown, and just nothing open. I'm going to fire underneath here. It's caught, and we're going to call timeout. Still 8 seconds to go. We do have 2 timeouts, so plenty of time for a couple plays here. McMillan on the little whip route. Going to fire it to him, and McMillan, he caught it. I thought he dropped it, but it's caught by McMillan, and with only 3 seconds left, it's just going to about do it here. And in a very hard-fought defensive battle, we really got most of our yards that final drive, but we take down Sean McDermott and Josh Allen, and we move on to the AFC Championship game. And we did get another huge upset. The Jacksonville Jaguars took down the Bengals 31-28 on the road, and we should be pretty big favorites now. I'm going to set it at like -6.5. I guess place your wagers right now. If the number 1 seed Patriots will cover, on their way to the Super Bowl. But it looks like the Jaguars are starting off with the football and get 3 points. I'm hoping, since we're not playing like a division rival, our offense can be much better today, and we're already starting off with a touchdown in the first quarter, so that is a step in the right direction. But again, our offense is struggling to complement our defense, which held the Jaguars to 2 field goals early on. But here in the third quarter now, our offense has a chance to extend the lead past 1 point, and we do. It's 21-13. The Jags, though, are going to tie it up just like that. And now a tie ball game with 8 minutes to go. I want to hop in for this 3rd and 8 and see what Drake May can do with our weaponry. May, under some pressure, is going to fire underneath here to our tight end, and he's going to break a tackle, but he's still a yard short. I would like for us to be aggressive, but we're going to kick the field goal, which I really don't love. And now, from about like 55 yards away, the kick is up, and it is not going to be good. It's no good. And now our defense has to get a stop, and they did pretty quickly. But we're again facing a 3rd and 2 around kind of the similar spot we were last time. This should be 4-down territory. Amarian Hampton, though, powers forward for multiple yards. He's really broken out this season. He's got to be one of the best running backs in the league after a 1,500-yard year. And now we need like one more first down to be in comfortable field goal range, and Drake May is going to fire underneath. It's caught by McMillan. 2nd and 5 now, another handoff to Hampton, and he's going to fight forward for 4 more yards. And now we're another handoff on 3rd and 1, and Hampton, I think he got it, and he did. In kind of that goal line jumbo formation, just powering the Jaguars defensive line. But now really 2 runs here. Make the Jags use their timeouts, and then let's just kick this game-winning field goal. I do think if I were the coach, I'm running some play action and trying to pass for this first down, but we'll see what we do here. It's another handoff to Hampton, and he's going to be a yard short. We can take off around 40 seconds on the play clock, and now can our kicker please make this? And it's up, and it is going to be good. 36 seconds for Trevor Lawrence to answer. And I don't know exactly what happened, but I saw that Milton Williams got a 15-yard penalty. So the Jaguars are approaching midfield already, and Trevor Lawrence escaping the pocket. Don't know why he didn't just run. But now we got to sweat this out on defense. Can somebody, maybe Karlaftis, who we paid a ton of money, get home with a sack? And I think Milton Williams almost got there. Another throwaway. So 3rd and 10 now. I would just double team Brian Thomas Jr. here on some play action. Lawrence going down the field. Another incomplete pass. So here we go again. Kind of playing off the receivers. Looks like we might be bringing a blitz. And we do. We don't get home, though. And Lawrence is going to fire a dart. It's incomplete. And the New England Patriots, in year number 3 of this rebuild, we are going to the Super Bowl, defeating the Jaguars 24-21. And in the Super Bowl, our matchup is against the Los Angeles Rams, who took down the Eagles, and they are also the other number 1 seed. And their quarterback, are you kidding me, is Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder is their quarterback, and somehow the Rams are the number 1 seed and find themselves in the Super Bowl. That's kind of wild, dude. But the Super Bowl is in Hard Rock Stadium. There's the flyover and some fireworks before the game. And the Rams, led by Desmond Ridder, are here to face off against Drake May and the New England Patriots. We've been building years for this, and now it's finally time to get it done. The Rams did not score on their first possession. We, though, are going to get it inside the 10, but have to settle for a field goal. But early on, we're kind of dominating this game, but unfortunately are only up 6-0. I hate settling for field goals, especially so deep into the red zone. It's 9-0. The Rams finally score a touchdown, and again, are kind of trying to take the lead here, but 16-7, we're now in the 4th quarter. The number 1 defense in the league is shutting down Sean McVay, and laughable, but Desmond Ridder as our quarterback. I want to try and get one of our new pickups that we started off this rebuild with, a touchdown in the Super Bowl, and not a great first pass. I would love to find McMillan and kind of merchant a touchdown off of him, but he's not going to be open on that fade route. Just going to find our tight end, and we're going to get in for a score, and it's 22-7. The Rams going for it on 4th down. They are going to still make it a game, 24-14, but I want to try and get one more touchdown because we didn't cover the spread in the AFC Championship game. I'm trying to look out for our alt spread bettors, and Drake May here incomplete. I know a couple of you placed -13.5 alt spread, so we're going to try and get another touchdown. And there's McMillan burning the cornerback, and Drake May put it on a dime. It's 30-14. And that is going to do it here, 31-14. The New England Patriots are back on top, winning their 7th Super Bowl trophy. And Amarian Hampton saying, give me that ring. Drake May with Tetairoa McMillan, and I guess that's still Gerard Mayo as our coach getting the Gatorade bath. But it is done. We have finally rebuilt this team to being a Super Bowl contender again, and it was led by May and our fantastic, I think, 3rd or 4th year receiver and McMillan. But Drake May did in fact win Super Bowl MVP and Gerard Mayo Coach of the Year. And the last thing I want to do, as always, before I end this rebuild is to play out one more season just kind of simulating everything and seeing if we can go back to back. With McMillan, we are going to accept his 5th-year option. Marcus Jones, I guess we'll just bring back everybody since we're just playing out one more season. He's going to say no, which I guess is fine. And then the rest of these players we're fine letting walk. In free agency, some really nice options, including Jalen Carter here. I don't know if we have enough cap space for him, and I guess we do, so we'll offer him a huge contract. I freed up a bit more money to just bring in some more players. Jack Campbell, he could be a great inside linebacker for us. And I think another Lions cornerback in Terrion Arnold, we need another corner, could be a great addition as well. So if we add those 3 pieces to our defense, which was already #1 in the league last year, we're going to be ridiculous. We did get Jalen Carter. Campbell said no, but we did get Arnold. A quick look at the draft recap. We got another cornerback in Jamie Smith, a receiver in Larry Colbert, another offensive lineman and running back. So CPU did a pretty good job simulating and getting us some good players. And the team looks really, really elite. Drake May is still a star dev, but a 90 overall. McMillan is an 89 superstar. Hampton has emerged really well for us. Our offensive line, probably the best in the league, a really good tight end. Defensively now with Jalen Carter and Karlaftis and Milton Williams. That's an absurd defensive line. Arnold, Gonzalez, our new rookie cornerback, a young safety tandem, and still McDaniels, and now we signed Joey Bosa. This team is really, really good, has a ton of star talent. We're an 86 overall, 88 offense, 85 defense. And now we will see if we can go back to back. And we went 15-2 this year and still not the #1 seed. How is that possible? We had the #4 offense and still the #1 defense. May had another really good season, 4,100 yards, 33 touchdowns, 210 picks. Rushing wise, Hampton again just under 1,400 yards and 15 touchdowns. Receiving, McMillan another 1,200 yard season and 10 touchdowns. He's got to be one of the best receivers in the league. And defensively, we cooked. 12 sacks for Jalen Carter, 11.5 for Karlaftis, 5 for Bosa, 4 for McDaniels. We also still have 3 picks from Christian Gonzalez. This team is just insane. And I guess the Chiefs are just back after missing the playoffs, going 16-1. But I'm just going to send the playoffs to our first matchup against the 9-8 Jaguars at home. We defeated them last year. Can we do it again? And we do, 24-10. Now another matchup against the Buffalo Bills, who are 11-6, again at home. Not going to be easy, but can we take down Josh Allen? And we do, 28-27. And the Chiefs had a relatively close win against the Titans to move on to face us. And the NFC would be a pretty easy Super Bowl matchup against either the Packers or the Saints, but I just have a feeling this is going to be a really hard game. But can we do it? On the road, AFC Championship game against the 16-1 Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and it doesn't tell us if we did it or not. And we lost 35-19. Mahomes had himself a flawless performance. May was pretty good, but got sacked 4 times. And the Saints got absolutely obliterated in the Super Bowl, 55-15. They were #7 seed, so kind of a Cinderella run, but it became ugly real quick. Ramczyk did retire, so we have a hole at right tackle, but this is going to be the last season of this rebuild. I think it turned out really, really well. Amarian Hampton is a 96 overall superstar X Factor. May is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. McMillan, one of the best receivers in the league. Our defense with a couple of nice draft picks and then signing a lot of veteran free agents really helped us build one of the best defenses, kind of like in recent memory, the back-to-back #1 ranked in the league. But I hope you guys did enjoy this rebuild. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it and what rebuild you want to see next. I would love to know. But subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Drop a like for more rebuilds, and I'll see you guys in my next one.